Blue Jays spring training starts this week. There's blood on the streets. Is this the beginning of crypto winter? Stick around and let's get this crypto. What's going on, guys? Hit that like, hit that subscribe on the way in. As always, I appreciate you. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. If you're new here, then this may be your first real bloody dip that you've seen in crypto. And some of you bought at 58, 56, 54, and you are now in the red. So welcome to your first red bloody experience with crypto. Wow, what a massive dump we had over the last couple of days. And I know the question everybody has on their mind is it over? Is this it for the dump? Are we going back up now? And what happened? Why did we get a dump? All right, guys, I'm going to try to answer those questions for you as best as I can. So let's talk about first, what happened? What caused this dump? At the end of the day, there was really no super bearish news that catapulted this dump. The only thing that I can see that happened was, I don't know if you've heard about this F2POOL miner story, but these YouTubers recently subscribed to CryptoQuant, and CryptoQuant is basically a charting software that looks into Bitcoin and sort of all of the on-chain metrics. And you can do quite a bit of analysis in Bitcoin. There's a really big misconception that Bitcoin's private and that anything that happens in crypto is private. That's not the case. With crypto and Bitcoin especially, there are privacy coins that don't allow you to do this, but Bitcoin and most other coins, the blockchain itself, all of the information about the transactions on the blockchain are stored in the blockchain, and we're getting better and better at extracting that information from the blockchain and doing analysis on it. So CryptoQuant is, one of the best places to go for that type of information. So recently, a YouTuber subscribed to CryptoQuant and noticed that he's made a correlation that whenever this particular miner has major outflows of Bitcoin from their wallets, that's right, that's how much we know. We know what miners have what wallets and how much Bitcoin is stored in those wallets, as well as how much Bitcoin is moving in and out of those wallets. I know, it's pretty incredible. So he made a correlation that every time this particular miner, F2POOL, basically there was huge outflows of Bitcoin from their wallets, then there was a massive market crash. So yesterday, Feb 20th, he warned that he was seeing major outflows. So the orange line in the middle that I have for you is the outflows of Bitcoin leaving the miners' wallets. And so they had major outflows on Feb 20th. So he warned the world. I looked at it, said, well, it looks legit. I warned all of my friends on our internal group. I said, hey guys, we might be getting a dip here. We might get a buy the dip opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Because it looks like some miners are moving some Bitcoin. And we dumped. The next day, we started a massive dump. So what did I do? I subscribed to CryptoQuant because if there's one thing that you got to know about me is I'm driven by facts. I make zero assumptions, and I cannot stand being wrong. So I'm not going to come here and basically tell you that I think miners are moving Bitcoin, they're going to sell, so we're going to dump, unless I see that in the charts. So what did I do? Subscribed, and I looked at the charts. Well, here's the crazy thing. I don't see what they're talking about. I spent like 2 hours late last night looking at these charts just to see if I could see the correlation that they're talking about. So problem number one, okay, that I find with their assumption. Problem number one is very clear that when they see Bitcoin leaving F2Pool wallets, the assumption is, in fact, they're now saying it as fact. The fact in their mind is that F2Pool sold Bitcoin. Well, that's not a fact. That's an assumption. Bitcoin leaves their wallet. It can leave for many reasons that don't mean they're selling their Bitcoin. I don't have an explanation for why so much Bitcoin is leaving their wallets. In fact, if you look at the charts, this is valid. What they're saying is, look at the historical chart. So this is going back to, we can go back really far back. Again, we're looking at the middle chart here where my mouse is. And for a long time, there was just small movement of Bitcoin outflowing from their wallets. And then all of a sudden, Jan 14th, this thing starts to really pick up and we start to see massive amounts of Bitcoin being moved out of the miners' wallets. And so that's what they're saying is, well, Bitcoin's moving out of the wallet, so it's crashing. All right. I mean, guys, this is all I did. They piqued my interest. So I said, okay, if that much Bitcoin's leaving their wallets, then how much Bitcoin's going into their wallets? And guess what I found? You got it, guys. On Feb 20th, when these YouTubers are telling you that miners are moving Bitcoin out of their wallets and the market's going to crash, the net flow, which is net overall, how much left, how much came in, they actually put more Bitcoin in their wallet than they took out of their wallet on Feb 20th, down into February 21. So there was a dip in net flow. So while they're looking at this outflow like it's a massive amount, saying, "Oh my God, Feb 20th, look how much they moved. We're gonna crash." They actually put more Bitcoin in their wallets. I mean, really, guys? Like, none of you looked at the inflow? You only looked at the net flow? At the outflow? I don't know, man. I find that frustrating because you just gotta wonder, right? You gotta wonder. Like, there's these charts, like, the problem is these charts are making every YouTuber a self-proclaimed expert. And at the end of the day, we don't really know what's happening. We don't know why there's this much movement of Bitcoin all of a sudden from this particular miner. And it's a lot of Bitcoin, guys. Don't get me wrong. Like, it is a lot of Bitcoin. 14,000 Bitcoin left the wallets. That's a lot of Bitcoin. What are they doing with 14,000 Bitcoin? Who knows? Who knows? But 16,000 went into their wallets. You tell me, guys. All right. So there's that. So what else did I do? So that right there told me, I gotta question things a little bit more before I listen to YouTubers like me, right? So I started looking historically. All right, so is it true? Is it true that every time they move their wallet, they move Bitcoin out of the wallet, the market crashes? All right, so let's see. Well, here's the first example I looked at. If you've been following my videos, you remember my big celebration on February 8th, the Tesla pump. Massive pump, biggest pump in Bitcoin history in terms of candle size. So I go here, what happened on Feb 8th? Guess what, guys? Feb 7, Feb 8th, Feb 9th, massive amounts of Bitcoin moving out of F2Pool's wallets. Do I need to show you what happened? Feb 7th, look at this. Feb 8th, Feb 7th, pump. Feb 8th, pump. Feb 9th, pump. Are you kidding me? I mean, I could just stop right there and say, there is no correlation with what you're saying. And if you watch how they talk, they will literally sit there and tell you right now, F2Pool is crashing the market. We all know F2Pool is crashing the market. And they're crashing the market because they're selling their Bitcoin at the same time shorting it in futures. And they're making money both ways. Yet there's like zero evidence that there's even a connection between outflow of their Bitcoin with shorting in the futures market. There's no, guys, there's zero connection. Nobody's ever shown you a chart that proves that F2Pool is somehow shorting the market. So, look, it's good that we're all kind of looking at this data and we're all trying to interpret this data. But if you watch this channel, I am never going to tell you that I am 100% certain of something if I'm not. Okay? So right now, all I can tell you is it is easier to prove the YouTubers wrong than it is to actually prove them right. Doesn't mean they're not right. Doesn't mean that we won't get more data that at some point is going to prove they're right. But I'm telling you right now, the data's showing me the opposite of what they're saying. I just don't see the correlation. And I could go on and on with examples of where we had big outflows and Bitcoin pumping. So, and it just puzzles me that they actually just look at the outflow chart and weren't curious enough to look at the inflow chart. So, anyway, so the other thing they made a connection with, so let me show you. This is basically, we can all, with Crypto Quant, we can all actually see how much money flowed into a particular exchange. So the theory was, because they saw massive amounts of Bitcoin moving into the Gemini exchange, that was F2Pools putting money into the Gemini exchange, and that they basically sold all their Bitcoin on Gemini. And that's why the market crashed. And you can see here that, relative to Gemini's history, there's definitely a huge surge of Bitcoin flowing into the Gemini exchange again. There's no proof in terms of who that is, right? Right? Let me put it this way. Is that Bitcoin flowing into Gemini exchange because the miners are doing it, or because this YouTube FUD caused everyone else to put their Bitcoin in the Gemini exchange to prepare for the dump? I don't know. I mean, the last time we basically had a huge spike in Gemini exchange, it was the COVID dump. And, I think for all intents and purposes, we can agree that there were a lot of people panicking, not just miners. There was a ton of people moving Bitcoin into the exchanges at that time, wondering if that was the end for Bitcoin and if we were going to go to zero. So, again, guys, I looked a lot at at essentially these peaks and valleys, and I can tell you that there is no correlation between Bitcoin moving into the Gemini exchange and us getting a massive dump. In fact, I can show you example after example after example where Bitcoin moved to the Gemini exchange and instead we got a pump. Let's see, January 28th, 29th, there was, from January 24th to 29th, there looked like there was pretty substantial moves of Bitcoin into the Gemini exchange. And this is January 28th, 29th, 30th. Guys, what do you see? Pump, pump, pump. Green candle, green candle, green candle. Massive pump, guys. Massive, massive pump. Yes, there was a dump. And this dump was blamed directly on F2Pool. I don't know, guys. I don't know. You would have to make the assumption that they moved everything in between 24th and 29th and then dumped it. But there's never been, put it this way, you're now assuming that it's now days after they move their Bitcoin into the Gemini exchange that they actually dump. Well, if that's the case, that's not what happened yesterday or Feb 21st. Bitcoin dumped the moment YouTubers started to point out to everybody that F2Pools was moving Bitcoin. That's when it dumped. It was immediate, guys. As soon as crypto Twitter got a hold of this, you just saw that chart, that outflow chart, all over crypto Twitter. Oh my God, F2Pool moving Bitcoin. Crash. Immediate crash. That I don't know, guys. I don't know. All I can say is this. There's actually never been such a correlation other than this dump. And the only difference with this dump, yes, there was some outflows from F2POOL, but there was more inflow. The only difference is YouTubers are looking at this data proactively now and anticipating and telling you that things are going to happen. And I don't know, man. I don't know. That's it. I'm done. I'm done with this topic, guys. I I swear, I wish I had a 500,000 subscribers right now because I'd it's not about calling out YouTubers. It's about show me the facts, guys. Show me the facts. Don't just feed me crap, with a chart that you only have access to and most of your subscribers don't. And then you basically interpret the data in one way with a bunch of assumptions and feed everybody crap. Because you know what? People like me will pay that $100 subscription and we'll go cross reference what you're saying. And I'm just not seeing it, guys. I'm not seeing it. So again, doesn't mean they're not right. Doesn't mean they're not wrong. There's no correlation. The one correlation now that I know of is that when YouTubers start to talk about F2Pool moving huge amounts of Bitcoin, the market crashes. That is a fact. That's a correlation. All right. Okay. All right. Take a shot. Morning coffee. So, is the dump over? Is the dump over? Let's see. We have dumped. Let's go to the daily. Whew, look at that. Look at that. Oh, man, you gotta love it. Gotta love that red day. We dumped from 58 down to 45 was the lowest we got. 21% in 2 days so far. Now we're back up. From the dump in the middle of the night, we're back up 8%, which is not bad at all. One of the things that I see on the charts that is pretty bullish is that we have not broken the 21-day EMA. Bitcoin in particular has not broken the 21-day EMA. And we all know that the market follows what Bitcoin's going to do. I mean, this whole conversation about charts and F2Pool, all the data is actually, the analysis is done on Bitcoin because that's where the most on-chain analysis is today. So everything else dumped. And like always, this is why if some of you are wondering, when I say altcoins have more upside, than Bitcoin over the long run, if in a bull market, and you're wondering why I'm still heavily in Bitcoin, is because on the downside, when things get rough, altcoins go down more than Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is the stable kid in town. So you can see, while Bitcoin went down 9%, everything that I follow went up more than down percent, except I was looking at Kusama, which was still pumping yesterday. I don't know, it was still pumping this morning. Where's Kusama? Where's Kusama? Where's Kusama? Kusama. It's right here. Let's look at it. It's starting to take a dip now, but you can see that yesterday, man. It was, look at that. It's like the only coin that I saw that was still pumping yesterday. There it is, 252 value right now. So still really good, really, really good value. So anyway, so Bitcoin still supported by the 21-day EMA. We've got this massive support box here between 46 and 44, which if you've seen my previous videos, I thought would definitely be a place where we would bounce. I don't like one thing, and that is that we did all this work to get out of this rising channel, rising wedge, and when we got out, we came back, we reconfirmed, touched the line, and off to the races we went. And unfortunately, we've fallen back below that rising wedge. So there's two numbers that we got to look at now is, can we get above 50K and close above 50K today? Not going to love it if we don't. Tell you that right now. Guys, we're in a bull market. Okay, let me make this clear. We are in a bull market until we are not. This dip is actually a bullish dip until it isn't. And if we bounced at 47, technically 45 was the wick. If that was the bounce, then that's bullish. And nothing's happened on these charts that make me long-term macro bearish. Okay? We were we were overcooked. Okay, we all know this. I mean, when we got up to 58K, 50, almost 59, we're overcooked. We've been on a massive run. At some point, those runs just have to come to an end. Okay, there's a correction, blood on the streets, people cry, and the winners buy. Hey, I like that. I'm gonna use that from now on. Okay, so you cry or you buy in. All right. So we need to get over 50K. I think that we can anticipate some more sideways action and maybe even downside if we don't close above 50K today. So that's what I'm looking at, 7 p.m. tonight. Let's see if we can get above 50K because it just took us so long to get above 50K that, yeah, it would kind of suck if we get stuck back below that and back into this another wedge with resistance at 50K. The other thing is this rising channel now becomes new resistance. So really, 52, somewhere in the 53, 52K is also going to now prove to be big resistance. That's also where the EMA, the 55-day EMA is. And so, we're going to have to get our way up above the 21-day EMA to get super, super bullish again on the 4-hour. Okay? So we'll see what happens. Hard to tell right now whether this is going to recover from here or if we can anticipate more downside. Again, I'm pretty much bullish unless we cross below 40. That for me is if we cross below 40 on the daily and we close the daily candle below 40, then I'm gonna get short-term bearish. Then I'm gonna get, I'm gonna say the trend is definitely bear, and the bears are taking control of this thing, and I'm gonna have to reassess some things. As long as we stay above that, then I think we're still going to 100K before my pool opens, and that's where I'm at. Okay, so that's where I think Bitcoin's at. There's really no, to be honest, is there really a point of talking about ETH? It's like, it's all the altcoins, everything is just following Bitcoin right now. ETH fell out of a huge support channel. ETH also on the daily, whereas Bitcoin was held up by the 21-day EMA, ETH fell way below the 21-day, hit the 55. It is being supported by the 55 right now, and right now the 200 EMA, which is at the end of the day, what sort of keeps us bullish is staying above the 200 EMA, is down all the way at 872. I don't believe we're going to go that far, but that's something to watch out for. So, it's the thing about doing analysis, technical analysis on altcoins, including ETH, is at the end of the day, they're just doing what Bitcoin does. Like, all of this entire crash didn't happen because every single altcoin was overly extended and the technical charts were saying that they all needed to crash. No, they crashed because Bitcoin crashed. That's so when we're in the middle of a pump or in the middle of the dump, what you want to look at is just Bitcoin. If you want to know what the rest of the market's going to do, then look at Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin bounces off this 21-day EMA today and we close above 50K, then don't worry about it because most of your altcoins are going to start to soar real quickly. As long as Bitcoin goes up, so does the rest of it. Okay, so that's kind of where we're at. The thing I'll leave you with right now is I actually went to sleep with some pretty bullish news. And again, I'm not seeing a whole lot of bearish news right now. The bullish news continues to come in. A Dubai businessman has pledged to buy the biggest amount of Bitcoin in its history. And this Dubai businessman is Khurram Shroff, I hope I pronounced that right, has basically partnered up with Miami. And I think I talked about this in one of the previous videos where the mayor of Miami just really wants to make Miami, crypto town. And this Dubai businessman is pledged to make the biggest investment in history. $4.8 billion worth of Bitcoin he has pledged to buy. This is 4 times, 3.5 times what Tesla bought. This is massive amounts of Bitcoin that are going to be bought soon. Now add that to Michael Saylor, MicroStrategy's announcement that they're buying another $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. So, over the next little while, we're going to have almost $6 billion worth of Bitcoin bought by two people. That's massive amounts of Bitcoin. So that's gonna make things interesting. We don't know if they'll buy, what the strategy will be to buy Bitcoin. What most of these big billionaires do when they buy Bitcoin is they create bots that buy Bitcoin over a certain period of time so that they don't affect the market too much, so that they don't basically pump the market while they're buying and then have to buy really, really high. So they just buy little at a time. And, you would assume that that's going to be their strategy. But wouldn't it be nice, guys? Wouldn't it be really nice if Michael Saylor and Khurram Shroff just stuck it to these bears and went and bought $4.8 billion worth of Bitcoin right now and pumped this market up? Oh man, that would be nice. Anyhow, so again, more bullish news. I found this article really interesting. Fed's Powell offers Bitcoin bulls glimmer of hope as price drops to 45K. Guys, it was like 2 weeks ago. Feb 8th, we were at 38K. And now apparently the bulls are panicking and, we need a glimmer of hope. I'm sorry, CoinDesk. I don't need no hope. I'm not feeding nobody no hopium here. On this channel, we're good until we're not. We're bullish until we're not. So I'm not sitting here biting on my nails. Oh my God, the market's crashing. Oh my God, what am I going to do? No. I put more money I tried to put more money into my account. It's been 24 hours and Newton has let me down because they haven't processed my transaction. But let me tell you, I'm not biting my nails. I'm celebrating because I get to buy more cheap Bitcoin. Again, not financial advice. You do you, I'll do me. But for sure, 45K Bitcoin, bring it. 40K Bitcoin, bring it. Below 40K, I might stop buying for a while and see where the market takes us because I might be able to get it for 20K. And oh my God, could you imagine 20K Bitcoin right now? I'd probably go all in on that one. If I saw 20K Bitcoin right now, I would sell my kids, my wife, my car, my house in that order so I can buy some more Bitcoin. Okay? All right. So, this article is saying that we can expect some more bullish news because the feds will talk more about stimulus packages today. And we all know what happens when the feds in the US talk about stimulus packages. Things tend to pump. A Dubai businessman is buying tons of Bitcoin. So the news is still bullish. I haven't seen anything crazy bearish yet, but we'll see. The only really close to bearish thing that happened was Elon Musk was having a conversation with my best friend Peter Schiff about Bitcoin, and in a way he was schooling him, and then mentioned at the end in one of the tweets that, he did say, well, after all, Bitcoin and ETH do seem a little bit high. And that was on Feb 20th, so did that make people panic? I don't know. But that's not news, guys. That's not news. So, that's it. That's all I got for today. I stayed up really late last night just doing some data analysis for you guys. I woke up this morning and said, you know what? If the market's still down, then I think the people that are watching this channel are going to want to know what's going on. And so, woke up early. Did this morning. This is the first morning episode that I do for you guys. Maybe we'll do some morning, coffee talks over crypto in the future. Because it seems to be actually for me maybe even a better time. Just waking up at 6 a.m. for you guys and doing that. Anyway, that's where we're at. Thank you for joining today. Love you all. We'll see you next time. Peace.